From the Raspberry Arena in California, the reigning European champions, Paris Saint-Germain, has once again demonstrated their dominance. They've demonstrated how good they are by dismantling Atletico Madrid in the ongoing Club World Cup Championship. It is nothing new. It is not something that we did not expect, because everybody knows, or anybody who understands and appreciates the game knows that the level of PSG currently, or in the just ended season, is so high that it's going to take a lot of energy, a lot of tactical nuance, a lot of technical ability of an opposing team to beat them. And that's exactly what we saw against Atletico Madrid. At the end of the 90 minutes, it was Atletico Madrid 0, Paris Saint-Germain 4. It is a total reflection of the game, though, because in the 90 minutes, you realize that Atletico Madrid had 24% of the total possession, which is expected because under Diego Simeone, over the past 10 years that has been the coach or the gaffer of Atletico Madrid, they've been very defensive, and that is what they are known for. They always play on the counter-attack unless there's a team that they are bigger than, or there's a team that they have so much firepower than. But against the teams that they are equal to, or against the teams that are tactically or technically better than them, they are always on the defensive. And that is what they've been known for over the past 10 to 15 years. But against a superior attack, against a team that is well coordinated, against a team that has so much fine balance between defense and attack, they were stuck. They found it difficult creating chances. That is why we realized, or that's why we saw that at the end of the day, PSG had almost 75% of possession. It is to be expected, though, because you can comparatively compare the attack, or you can compare the machinery of Atletico Madrid to PSG, because these are two tactically different dispositions altogether. With PSG lining up in a 4-3-3 formation, and Atletico Madrid in their usual 4-4-2 formation, with Julian Alvarez and Griezmann leading their attack. But one thing that I really found disturbing was the fact that Julian Alvarez is young, full of energy. But if you compare him or combine him with Griezmann, who is hitting 34 years, you would not have the balance, because you need somebody who is going to be working off Julian Alvarez. Julian Alvarez is not going to be a standing number 9. He's going to be moving. And who is going to be feeding him the balls if you have a number 10 who does not have the legs? That is one of the tactical problems that I found in the Atletico Madrid setup. And then you also realize that they lost all the 50-50 balls. They were not getting the 50-50 balls, one. Their passes were not going through. And at the highest stage, they were committing elementary errors that I found very disturbing. Because if you are playing against PSG that are very dominant, if you are playing against PSG that are very comfortable in possession, and you know that at the end of the day, your ball retention is going to be very low, then you would have to use the opportunities that you're going to be given. But Atletico Madrid did not do that. And you find out that they were not able to have a foothold in the game because they were not able to have their turnovers. Even when they got the chances to counter attack, they were not able to, because the pace in transition was slow, which is not synonymous with Atletico Madrid. And then you see, because they have been very defensive over the past years, one thing that they've built, the one thing that they are very comfortable with, one that they are very strong at, is the fact that they've got pace in their team, so that they can be able, they can transition from defensive setup into an attack. But against PSG today in the Club World Championship, they were not able to utilize that pace. Not necessarily because they did not have the pace, because they had pace in their team, but they were just not able to use it because they were stifled by the midfield of PSG. You look at somebody like Vitinha, man of the match for me. Fantastic player on the day, was able to take the pace, the tempo, the dimensions of the game. He controlled the tempo. He determined whether the game should move faster or the game should be placed at a lower pace. But one thing again that is very critical about today's game is the fact that the weather was very hot. The temperature was very, very high. So on a normal day, you will see PSG playing at a lot faster pace. But today, they were calmer, they were content in just moving the ball at a slower pace. I do not blame them because the weather in California today, as we speak, is very, very hot. That is why you realize that we had 2 water breaks, one in the first half, another in the second half. And then secondly, one call that I think that Atletico Madrid got wrong, really wrong, was the fact that they were not moving the ball quickly. I really do not know whether it's because of the weather or whether it's because of the humidity. Because under normal circumstances, if you are playing on a counter break or if you are in a more defensive shape, how do you get from defense to attack? It's our pace. It's about the spaces that you'll be able to create. And PSG gave them enough of those spaces for them to take advantage of, but they were not able to. And then the moments came for them to get goals. And Sørloth, I really do not know what type of striker he is. And last season, he got, I think, 27 goals in 60 matches. So that shows how potent he was last season. And then to be gifted an open chance. Well, I think that is the greatest miss I have seen in football. Because when you are down by 2-0, and then you are given an opportunity to at least crawl one back on an empty post, the goalkeeper is well beaten by the cutback. All you have to do is close your eyes and tap the ball in. And he found a way to miss. And you could see the reaction from Atletico Madrid bench. You could see the reaction because with them going 2 goals down, if Sørloth had been able to put that goal away, it means that what? They could have had the advantage, they could have had the momentum to come back to the game. But for him to have missed that chance just demoralized them. It took the wind out of their sail. And it gave the impetus to PSG to come back stronger again. And remember, right after that, PSG got their third goal. And then they went on to get their 4th goal after a penalty was given. But I think that the referee on the day was not really fair as well. The referees in this competition must know that this is an exam for them as well, because the World Cup is just around the corner. The World Cup is next year, and every single referee that has been assigned matches in the Club World Cup should know or must know that this is a rehearsal for the World Cup. That your performances in this tournament is going to determine whether you are going to be a part of the Mundial in 2026 to be hosted in America, Canada, and Mexico. But I am not convinced about the performance of the referee of the day, because if you realize that in the first half there should have been a red card for Nuno Mendes, right? There should have been a red card for Nuno Mendes when he committed a tactical foul because a player of Atletico Madrid was clear on goal, and he put him back. But the referee did not give the foul. The referee did not give a card. And then you also realize when Atletico Madrid was on the attack, Nuno Mendes again held the ball. He put his hand on the ball. The referee did not call for a foul. And most of the 50-50 balls, most of the 50-50 calls in the game also went to PSG. Most of the 50-50 calls. And I think that we did not see a fine balance between the state of play and officiating, which I think that affected the game totally. But yet again, on the tactical level, you realize that PSG have been very, very good with their 4-3-3. They've played the 4-3-3 the whole of last season. They've mastered the 4-3-3 system. And even though you realize that they have a single pivot in Vitinha, who is very small, who is very smallish. And I have repeatedly said that on a normal day, you don't find defensive midfielders who are very smallish and as good as Vitinha. I mean, the last defensive midfielder that I know of who is very smallish but very good, very, very good, was Kante when he was at Chelsea and Leicester City. But on a normal day, you find defensive midfielders who are ruggish, who are rugged, who are big, right? Somebody like Michael Essien, somebody like Makelele, somebody like Casemiro, somebody like this former Manchester City player. What's the name? De Jong, Gattuso. rugged defensive midfielders. But Vitinha, with his body and his stature, for him to be able to control the game at the pace that he does, it is something incredible. It is something that has to be studied. And the fact that he was the man of the match on the day goes to attest the fact that he was really exceptional on the day. But yet again, you realize that last season, PSG scored 97 goals. 97 goals in La Liga. So coming into this game, I thought that there were going to be goals, but against a team that was very defensive, against a team that last season has the meanest defense in La Liga, because last season Atletico Madrid had 19 clean sheets, considered the lowest amount of goals, 30 in the whole of last season. So I thought that yes, there might be a goal or two, because the best attack in La Liga and the best defensive side, the best attack in Ligue 1 in PSG, and then the best defensive side in La Liga. So were they going to cancel each other out? That is what I thought, that they were going to be able to cancel each other out. But on the day, Atletico Madrid were not able to come to the party because of their tactical inability to nullify the midfield of PSG. And if you are playing against a team like PSG and you are not able to match them boot for boot, it's going to be difficult for you to have a say in the game. And you can't match them by having the ball retention, because you can't have the ball retention because they've mastered the art of having the ball. So what then do? You hit them on the counter break. And that is what Atletico Madrid is known for. But on the day, they were not able to come to the party. I do not know whether it's tactical. I do not know whether it's technical or because of the heat, But on the day, I realized that PSG from last season has been very fantastic. They've been very, very good. Very, 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 very good. Very, 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 very good. And Atletico Madrid last season did not really go well for them because they were third in La Liga. It just shows you that they've not been great, but this is an opportunity for them to win 100 million pounds or dollars, right? Because that is the money for the winner. So going into the next game, I think that Atletico Madrid will have to come to the party. They will have to, improve massively. And for PSG, I think that doing what they've been able to do currently, it will be easy for them, progressing. But on the total scale, I think that PSG have got some massive players in their squad. Atletico Madrid, the same team, has got some massive players in their squad. But Diego, the coach of Atletico Madrid will have to fine-tune their players. Will have to fine-tune their players tactically for them to be able to come into the party, because their next match is going to be against Palmeiras. And Palmeiras is one of the biggest clubs when it comes to South American football. Very, very difficult side to beat. So it's going to be difficult for Atletico Madrid to qualify if they are not able to beat Palmeiras. And it's going to be easier on the part of PSG to qualify because already they've gotten 4 points, 3 points, and 3 goals. So on the balance of play, Atletico Madrid will have to up their game and hope that other results go their way.